Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will discuss risk management process. In the prior session, we focused on risk, and specifically we discussed the four types of risks. If you don't know what risks is, please go back to the prior session. In this process, we are going to look at the risk management process. It's a process. It's a process in a sense of an approach used by management. Now, here's what I want you to think about the risk management process. I want you to think of a pilot and a pre-flight routine. What do they do? Or also an in-flight routine. What can the pilot do? Well, there are certain things they can do, others they cannot. For example, the pilot cannot eliminate the weather. They cannot eliminate the mechanical wear or the air traffic risks. There's nothing he can do about them. But what can the pilot do is to check the system before departure. They can assess conditions, weather conditions, so they can avoid areas where there may be storms. Prioritize the most dangerous ones. Reroute. Carry extra fuel. Keep scanning instrument about the weather the whole way. So this is what risk management is. You cannot eliminate certain risks, but you will try to avoid them. And this is the management process. So it's an approach used by management to identify, analyze, rank, respond, and monitor. Now, in this session, we will focus on identifying the risk and that risk that affect the organizational ability to achieve its objective. The misconception is you could eliminate the risk. The process does not eliminate the risk at all. So if one of the multiple choice questions hint at eliminating risk, it does not happen. Instead, it helps management make informed decision about which risk to accept, which risk to reduce, which risk to transfer, which risk to avoid, and which risk to exploit. And as I mentioned, this process is not, I didn't mention it clearly, but it's a 5-step process. The first step is risk identification. The second step is risk assessment. The third step is risk prioritization. The fourth is response planning. And the fifth is risk monitoring. Now, this is a process. It's a continuous loop. You will monitor, then you go back, you might find new risks, and you go through the process again. Now, in this session, I would look at risk identification, and in the future session, we would look at the other steps. Let's go ahead and dive into risk identification, the first step in this process. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com.
My AI turns any lecture into a complete study system. You can create summary table, formulas, and example from each lecture. Flashcard builds from the lesson itself. A quiz build on the lesson. And as a bonus, convert any lecture into a portable short audio on the go. So it helps you with the retention. No noise, no generic responses, just clarity based on that specific lecture. Don't just watch, interact, test yourself, and retain the material using Farhat AI. Now go to farhatlectures.com now and see how the AI can help you understand, practice, and retain the material.
Risk identification is the search. You're looking for those storms as a pilot before you take off. So you want to avoid those routes. Search for events or conditions that could prevent the organization from meeting its objective, or in case of an upside risk that could help the company's objective. There are two principles that makes identification risk effective. First, you have to look inward and outward. So you have to look for external threat as well as internal threat. That's one thing. And also you want to cast a wide net across the organization. So when you're looking across the organization, don't only talk to the staff people. Don't only talk to the mid-level. Don't only talk to the IT or to management or finance. Talk to everyone. Risk should be surfaced by people throughout the organization. Operation, finance, IT, HR, not just senior leadership, including frontline staff that see the exposure that executives don't see. So first, let's take a look at internal risk events or internal risks. Those are the risks that arises within the organization. The first one will be capital investment. Anytime we try to make a large purchase, any type of capital investment. For example, if we're buying a new production line to increase output, that's a risk. But that risk is internal. We'll try to measure the risk, estimate the cash flow to keep the risk within our appetite, but it's an internal risk. The second risk is technology risk. For example, installing new software or changing internal system. So if we install a new ERP system to improve system operation, or if we install, let's assume, a new software, well, what happens if that software has bugs or it's vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks? So that's a risk we are taking. Personnel issues, people, employee fraud, turnover, and labor stoppage. Maybe key engineer unexpectedly resigning before a major product launch. Process changes. What is that? Changing how products are manufactured. For example, the company automates its assembly process to improve efficiency, and as a result, things are breaking down. We have more defect. Well, as a result of the process change, this is an internal risk. And system failures. What is that? Production shutdown, or we have a cybersecurity incident, or think about a ransom attack that shuts down the company's ordering system. Those are all internal risks that we need to be aware of, that they are within the organization, that there's something we can do about them. Now we have to identify external risk event. They arise from outside the organization. The first one is economic conditions that affect all companies, not equally, but all companies, like recession, inflation, foreign currency transaction. For example, a recession would cause customers to reduce their spending. Well, let's assume let's go back to this example here, and we bought new equipment hoping that customers will buy our product. We did our job. We did our cash flow analysis and we bought the equipment. Well, we looked at all the options and risks that we have internally. But if a recession occurred, there's nothing we can do. That's an external risk. Natural disasters, another one. Fire, flood, hurricane, earthquake. For example, a hurricane forces the company to temporarily close its factory. No output anymore. Well, we could have political events. New laws, elections, tariffs, or trade restriction. For example, new tariffs could increase the cost of imported raw material. That's an external event. That's a risk of the business. Social changes, shift in customer preferences or demographic. For example, consumers shift their preference from gasoline to electronic vehicle. If we sell gasoline, that's not good for us. There's nothing we can do about that. It's an external risk factor. Technological changes overall. For example, new product or services launched by our competitor, or a competitor launching an AI-powered product that attracts customers. Basically, competition. We could put that under competition. It's an external risk to us. Now, our job is to identify risks. How can we identify risk? Those are some common management methods used to surface risk. One is brainstorming. Talk to people, group discussion to surface possible risk. Meet with people inside the company. For example, if we're launching a new product, let's talk about the risk that this product could face. Event inventory. Prepare list of events that might affect the firm. Review a checklist of common cybersecurity threat. That will be an example of it. Or any other threat. Just list them down and let's discuss them. Talk to people. Interview. One-on-one talks with managers and staff. Interview the CFO, the department manager, about their biggest operation risk. So you can see what's inside their mind. Self-assessment. Department evaluate their own risk and control. Maybe the purchasing department evaluate its own vendor and supply chain risk because they know they're closer to that business, to that line of business. You could do facilitated workshop, create group session led by facilitator, lead a cross-functional team to identify project risks. What else can you do? SWOT analysis. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. Identify increasing competition as a major threat. That's a big one. Threats from the outside. Surveys and questionnaires. Just ask employees about work safety concern or any risk that they can see. That's another way to identify risk. Scenario analysis. What if analysis of possible future event. What if our largest supplier suddenly go out of business? Do we have an alternative? Also, we could use technology tools like what? Like software and database that tracks risks. Like, for example, cybersecurity risk management software that flags unusual network activity that might indicate cybersecurity attacks. So those are not the only ways, but the company will need to identify the risk, whether it's internal or external. So in this session, what we do is we identify the risk, internal, external, what's risk, how should we identify the risk. In the next session, we would look at risk assessment. I might do risk assessment and prioritizing the risk at the same time, basically evaluating the likelihood and the impact of each risk you identify. So the most significant exposure rise to the top, because we might have a list of risks. We identify them. We should not treat all equally. First, we assess, then we prioritize. And we're going to do some computation in the next session. It's not only going to be theoretical. We're going to look at some probabilities. We're going to take the likelihood times the impact to rate the risk. But that's for the next session. Now let's take a look at simple, straightforward, multiple choice question from Farhat lectures that start to help you see this process. A company identifies possible events that could interfere with its ability to achieve its strategic objective. Which step of the risk management process is being performed? So we have a risk management process that consists of 5 steps, and which steps is being, in quote, identified here? Is it risk monitoring, risk identification, response planning, or risk transfer? Now, basically, again, as I mentioned, this question is straightforward, but I want you to reinforce this point. The first step is the risk management process is you identify the risk. In order to deal with something, you have to first identify it, list it. Therefore, the answer is risk identification. Later on, we would look at risk monitoring. Later on, we would look at response planning. And risk transfer is one possible response to risk, which we'll look at that later on. Now, whether you are a CMA, CPA, accounting, finance student, what I suggest you do, go to Farhat lectures, look at additional MCQs, lectures, resources, true, false, simulation, cases. The best investment you can make is invest in yourself, invest in your education, and God bless.